Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another series of ramblings and analysis. Anthony joining you once again, and we have a bit of a shorter one for you today. This one's only about an hour long, and a lot of the stuff that happened in November that I actually wanted to talk about was Armada related, so there's a lot of Armada. I think there is one Champions thing in here as well, so there's that. So if you don't really like Armada, you might want to skip this rambling, except for the Champions thing, but hey, maybe you listen. I don't know. I can't make you do anything, just like I can't make you subscribe or anything like that. So, anywho, I'm just going to cut the rate yammering now. I still can't speak to save my life. And, yeah, let's just dive straight into this, starting off with, I think, the first preview of the Republic starter for Armada. I think that's what it was. Whatever it is, you're about to see it now. Well, we're a week into the month, and it's taken a bit to get something I want to talk about, but we finally have something I want to talk about. That being the first preview for the Clone Wars era stuff for Armada. So we have a preview of the Republic starter, and yeah, let's just see what's in this monstrosity of a set. And by monstrosity, I just mean it's huge. Like $100, 3 ships, 4 squadrons. It's basically a single-player starter set. I think I mentioned this in the August Ramblings video, but whatevs. Okay, so again, if you haven't seen the contents of this before, 4 V-19 squadrons, 2, what are these things called? Charger corvettes, and then an acclimator transport. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so Obi-Wan, new commander. When a friendly ship is ready, is defending it. When it's it's been a week. It's still, the election was still recent enough where my mind is fried. Anyways. While a friendly ship is defending, when it spends a readied reinforced token, it may reduce the total damage by 1 before it suffers damage. Okay, so it gives you an extra reinforce effect, so it's been a while since I've played Armada. Brace is the one that halves the damage. Reinforce is the one that allows you to move things to other shield zones, I believe. I think that's how it works. I haven't played Armada in a long time. Last time I played, I got whipped by an SSD, and I haven't touched the game since. But I'm looking to get back into it because Armada just is fun. Like, come on. Albeit, it's just, as long as I stay away from an SSD, I think we'll be fine. Anyway, so Obi-Wan decreases damage taken, and considering there's really not a whole lot of defensive capabilities in this game outside of the tokens, good to have. And also another reason I probably don't play as Armada as much is just because I'm so used to X-Wing where you're constantly evading damage, whereas this you're taking a lot more. So there's that. Then we have Bail Organa. When a friendly ship reveals a command, you may discard 1 token of each type from this card. For each token you discard, that ship gains an additional command dial matching that token's type. I think I mentioned this in the August Ramblings video, how these work. Like, you start with like 5 of each of the following types or something like that. Don't quote me on that exactly. FFG themselves have commented on this, and I did insert a couple of bits into the August Ramblings video explaining what this is, so you'll have to go find that because I do not have time to insert a segment to explain this, but I think that's how it works, but don't quote me on that. So 2 new commander options or just 2 commander options for Republic in general. Beginning with the Acclimator. Yep, okay, so the first one we have the Acclimator 1 class, and they've changed the ship cards slightly, so it's no longer those super-sized cards that we saw with originally. Now it's a double-sided thing, so one side shows the upgrades, which the Acclimator 1 has a officer, gun, or weapons team, almost called it the gunner slot. Played too much X-Wing. 2 offensive retrofits, ordnance slot, and a turbo laser slot, so definitely geared towards offense with the dual offensive retrofit. Not too sure what you want to put in there, but I don't play Armada that much, so I'm generally not the most qualified person to talk about this. 66 points for this variant. As for the rest of the stat, 3 command. Okay, 3 command on a medium ship. That seems interesting. I thought it would have only been 2 command, but I'm prone to prone to like believing things that just don't end up panning out. So there's that. 3 squadron, that one makes sense. 4 engineering, also makes sense, I guess. 7 hull, 2 black die on the anti-squadron armament. You got a brace, a reinforce, and a salvo token, so we're seeing the salvo on more ships outside of the Starhawk. It's a speed 3 ship, we'll get to that in a moment. 3 red, 2 black in the front, 2 red, 1 black on the sides, 1 black, 1 red in the rear, and a 4-2-2-2. That's a pretty decent shielding configuration. And then Speed 1, you get 1 click on the first joint. Speed 2, it's the same thing. Speed 3, that click goes onto the second joint instead. So it's not the most maneuverable thing, but it's Speed 3, so honestly, like, I think the closest comparison I can make to this is maybe a slightly less maneuverable version of the Assault Frigate, but don't quote me on that one, because, it's been a while since I've played. And then V-19 squadrons. Okay, so 3 hull, 5, or 3 evade. 3 evade, oh my god. X-Wing terminology, I swear. Speed 3 movement max, 5 hit points. The anti-squadron armament is 1 red, 2 blue, and a battery armament of 1 black. Makes sense because in X-Wing these things carry missiles, so it makes sense they'd have that as their battery. It has escort and swarm, so you can take a bunch of these cheap, 12 points a pop. That's pretty decent. And you can take a bunch of these to act as a screening thing for your non-escort squadrons, and you get swarm off of them, so that's actually fairly decent. And then hyperspace rings, offensive retrofit. Before deploying fleets, you may choose a number of friendly non-rogue squadrons up to your squadron value, which on an Acclimator 1 is 3. Those squadrons gain Scout. Have we seen Scout before? I'm not sure if we have. If we have, let me know in the comments. If we haven't, there's that. Let's see here. There's no need. Yep. Instead, they can scout ahead and be placed outside of the deployment zone and do not have to be placed at range 1 to 2 of a friendly ship, but they have to be distance 1 to 5, or they must be beyond distance 1 to 5 of enemy ships when placed. Okay, so it kind of is like Han's effect, or the resistance version of Han in X-Wing. So basically, if you have squadrons that don't have rogue, you can deploy them, or if you have like a bomber wing or something, you could just drop them right in front of the enemy ships, and if you're moving first, just saying. Actually, no, that wouldn't work. Oh my god. X-Wing terminology and Armada stuff is overlapping, and it's causing some problems, but whatever. Let's see. So the first title for the Acclimator, the Nevuda B. On a squadron command, each non-unique squadron that you activate gains Swarm until the end of its activation. Each squadron with Swarm may re-roll 1 die when attacking a ship. Okay, so with V-19s, it makes it a bit more effective against other capital ships, and with non-swarm things, maybe you use like Arc 170s with it or something. Like, what does Swarm do again while attacking another squadron? Arc 170s or Delta 7s maybe? I don't know. Anywho, and then the unique V-19 squadron is Axe. Before another friendly squadron at distance 1 suffers a damage during attack, you may spend a defense token to reduce the total damage. Okay, so gives you more options to spend your defense tokens. If you're not going to be using them, you might as well use them on something else. And this one's 17 points, so I'm not sure if that's good or not, but we'll see. Acclimator 2, same command command squadron engineering line. It ups the dice values a little bit. So 3 red, 1 blue, 2 black, 2 red, 1 black in the sides, and then a blue and a red in the back. Same shielding configuration, same hull value, same tokens, same maneuver things. 1 blue and 1 black compared to 2 black in the anti-squadron armament. And then for upgrade slots, it goes from 2 offensive retrofits to 1 defensive retrofit. So this one gives you a bit more firepower at the cost of less upgrade slots, and this one is a little less, but you do get those extra upgrade slots, obviously. We have reactive gunnery, which is I think this is a new upgrade. Yeah, I think this is. While defending, you may exhaust this card and spend a ready defense token to resolve the salvo defense token's effect instead of that token's effect. You cannot resolve the salvo effect more than once per attack, so if you want to use salvo on an older ship, you can. And this symbol up here, this just means that it refreshes itself, so there's that. They mentioned this at some point, I don't remember when. Swivel-mounted batteries. This is one that it gets exhausted, but it doesn't refresh itself, and I don't remember what this is, but don't quote me on that. It looks like this thing can only be used for Republic and Separatists based on this thing in the corner. When you reveal a command, you may exhaust this card to choose one of your hull zones and mark it with a focus token. While attacking a ship from that hull zone, add 1 die of any color from an adjacent hull's armament pool to your attack pool. While attacking from an adjacent hull zones, remove 1 die from your attack pool. Okay, so basically, like, with the Acclimator, if you're attacking out of the front arc, you could pull either a red or a black die from one of your side arcs, but if you're attacking out of one of your side arcs, you lose a die. That could, considering this is a, this is a turbo laser upgrade. Gunnery team, anybody? Just saying. I mean, Gunnery Team is already a great card, but now you have this, or whatever it's called. The one that allows you to attack from the same hull zone twice. That's going to be fun. Okay, then we have another set of upgrades here. We have Captain Zack. It looks like he starts with a concentrate fire thing. I don't remember what this does. He doesn't refresh himself. While attacking from your side or rear hull zones, you may exhaust this card to add 1 die to your attack pool of a color already in your attack pool. You cannot add dice to a salvo attack. You can spend tokens from this card to ready it. Okay, so that's something we've seen, like, where this thing means it has like a specific ready condition or something like that. Actually, I think the card mentions if there's a ready condition, whereas this is like just shows that the card does not refresh itself. Again, I don't know what this bar is on the side, so. Clone Gunners, this looks like going to be a Republic-only weapons team. If the thing will load... Are you gonna load? Okay, Implacable, that's loading. Clone Gunners, okay, there we go. So it's a Republic-only weapons team, clone only. Clone only, I don't know what that means, but whatever. One of you, okay, so Concentrate Fire may discard a Concentrate Fire token assigned to another friendly ship at distance 1 to 5 of the defender. If you do, add 1 blue die with an accuracy icon to your attack pool. So if you need accuracy symbols, there's an option for you. Albeit this clone-only thing is interesting. I wonder what that's implying, but we'll find out at some point. And then Implacable, before a friendly ship or squadron at distance 1 to 2 suffers damage from an attack, you may exhaust this card to spend up to 2 shields from your front hull zone to reduce the total amount, the total damage by that amount. 4 shields in the front hull zone, that actually may not be a bad take if you're running a squadron heavy list. And at 4 points, and it refreshes itself, so that's decent. But we'll have to wait and see what kind of tactics Republic want to play with before we can make any assumptions on that. So, again, I'm not the most knowledgeable person when it comes to Armada, but as a casual player, honestly seems kind of fun. But I'm definitely more excited for the Republic stuff. The Separatist stuff does seem kind of cool, but I've actually been looking forward to Republic more, which is ironic considering in X-Wing I much more enjoy Separatist than Republic, albeit I do still enjoy Republic in that game, but... Anyways, now we just wait and see what's next, so moving on. Okay, so these next 3 things I'm going to talk about, I was going to record them on separate days, but then life got in the way, so now you're getting them all at once. So, yeah. So last segment we talked about the Republic Fleet Starter. Now we're looking at the Republic Squadron Pack. So we know we're getting B-19s, Delta 7s, BTLB Y-Wings, and Orc 170s. We've known this since the thing got announced. So the first ship, or the first squadron we're getting is the Delta 7. It's got a 3 blue, 1 black anti-squadron armament, a 1 blue battery armament, so it's more dedicated to anti-squadron. Max speed of 4. Full 4 hull, counter 2, Adept 1, which allows you to reroll a die while attacking, and Dodge 1, which allows you to reroll a die that is being used against you. So, makes sense for Jedi, so that is cool. 17 points too, so it's fairly cheap. Not as cheap as other things, but it's something. And then we're getting, looks like 4 different unique squadrons in this thing. So we have Luminara. She loses dodge, but then she gains, while an enemy squadron at distance 1 is attacking a non-unique friendly squadron, the attack is treated as obstructed. I don't remember what that does, so forgive me. I haven't played Armada I don't think I've played Armada actually since the Super Star Destroyer came out, now that I think about it. She also has a brace and a scatter, so that's pretty standard stuff for lighter squadrons that we've seen. Plo Koon also lost dodge, but he has Adept 2, and did Luminara have Adept 2? Nope, she has Adept 1, okay. So Plo Koon has Adept 2, non-unique friendly squadrons without counter at distance 1 gain counter 1, encourages a bit of swarm tactics with, do V-19s have swarm? If they don't, there's an option for you. Ahsoka, she loses dodge but gains grit. I don't know what that does because I haven't played Armada in a while. After you move, you may choose another friendly squadron at distance 1, and it can be unique. It doesn't have to be generic. That squadron performs an attack against an enemy squadron at distance 1 with an anti-squadron armament of 2 blue dice. Allows you to basically get an extra attack off if you're trying to focus fire a squadron. So that's pretty decent. Looking at the points, Illuminar is 23, Plo is 24, Ahsoka is 23, so about a 5-6 point bump for the uniques. And Kit Fisto, a little higher on the point bump. He has Adept 2. I believe, did Ahsoka have Adept 1? She has Adept 1, okay. And wait, did the regular Delta 7 have Counter 2? Yes, it did. Okay, so then Kit loses Dodge and, Dodge, I forgot what it was called there for a moment, and gains Intel. While you spend a defense token, you may discard it. If you do, reduce that total damage by 3 instead of resolving that token's effect. Has 2 braces instead of a brace and a scatter, so if you absolutely need to reduce damage as like a last, or if you're about to get nuked, there's an option for you, I guess. So there's that. Then we have the ARC 170, Bomber and Counter 1, 15 points for a squadron of these. Max speed of 2, 7 hull, so it's pretty tanky. And then red and 2 blue for the anti-squadron, 2 blue for the anti-battery. So not too much difference between those there, so that's interesting. Of course, it has Bomber. That makes sense that it would have Bomber, and it has Counter, like I mentioned. I mean, with a tail gunner, it kind of makes sense that it would have Counter, so nothing here that seems weird. Oddball in the V19, while attacking, if you move during this activation, you may re-roll up to 2 dice. Whoa, okay, that's kind of cool, but you do have a very slow movement speed, but I think, no, Bomber Command Center helps with attacking, but if you have anything that boosts the speed of your squadrons, this is the guy to pair it with. So, let's see, Bomber, Counter 1, gains a brace and an evade token. The red die in the anti-squadrons was replaced with a black die, so that's interesting. So against heavier squadrons, there's that. It looks like we're only getting 1 variant for the other squadrons. So then the BTLB squadrons, Bomber and Heavy makes sense for a Y-Wing, max speed of 3, hull of 6, 1 blue, 1 black in the anti-squadron, and 1 black in the battery. So a little cheaper than the ARC 170, you get a little less, but if you want more in terms of quantity, you go with this. You want more in terms of quality, you go with the ARC 170. And then Anakin is in the BTLB, so during your defense, or during your activation, you may spend 1 defense token to ignore engagement until the end of your activation. Whoa, okay. So if you have a capital ship you need to blow up, there you go. 2 brace tokens, Adept 2, Bomber, and Heavy. 3 blue dice in the squadron armament, a red and a blue in the battery, so a little better compared to the regular variant. So, and only 19 points. That's interesting. The V19 Torrent, we've seen this before. They do not have Counter, I believe. Which one was the one that gave Counter? Plo Koon, yeah. So V19s don't have Counter, so there you go. We've seen this before, though. So, in fact, you just saw it in the last segment, so there's that. Then a different unique squadron. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Axe in the starter set, but now we have Kickback. So 2 brace tokens, Escort and Swarm. After you perform an attack, you may move up to distance 1 even if you are engaged. This gives you some options for moving around, possibly getting a kill shot on a ship if you absolutely need it. Albeit 1 black die in the battery. It's decent, but not the best. But anti-squadron, 1 red, 2 blue, which is the exact same as the regular V19. Okay. So Clone Wars is coming on December 4th, and that's definitely not going to be affected by the movement of development from FFG to Atomic Mass. And yes, I am aware of that. I'm just choosing not to comment on it because honestly I didn't really feel like it. So while we're on the Armada topic, let's go ahead and talk about the Separatist starter now. So next segment after this and after I talk about champions will probably be talking about the Separatist Squadron pack, but we will see. Now, I've talked with this about Cole before, or talked about this with Cole before. Oh my god, my mind is fried. But as much as I'm a Separatist fanboy in X-Wing, this isn't exciting me as much as Republic is. Like, honestly, I'm still waiting for a Venator, but hey, I mean, Munificent is kind of a cool ship, I'll give you that much. So, anywho, so pretty much the same composition as the Republic starter set, just with Separatist ships. You get a Munificent, you get 2 hard cell transports, which I didn't even know these were a thing, even though I'm pretty sure they appeared in Attack of the Clones. Don't quote me on that, though. And then 4 Vulture Droid squadrons, because what else were you going to include in this thing? It's like the most iconic Separatist fighter. Anywho, so Dooku as a as a commander. I'm not sure what this symbol is on the side here, but it starts with 3 of whatever this is. Oh, wait, you must choose at least 2 types of command tokens for this card. This must be like a wild card or something like that for command tokens. At the start of each ship phase, you may discard 1 command token from this card. If you do, each enemy ship gains a raid token matching that command token. Okay, so late game, if your opponent needs a specific command type to just completely dominate you, in late game, you can use this to shut it down. And 30 points, that's about average for a commander, I think. Again, I don't play as Armada as much as X-Wing, so forgive me for that. Then Kraken, no special token shenanigans. Once per activation, while a friendly ship is attacking a ship, if another friendly ship at close to medium range is at, If another friendly ship is at close to medium range of the defender, the attacker may change 1 die to a face with 1 icon and no other icons. So, give me a moment here to process this. Once per activation, when a friendly ship is attacking, if another friendly ship is at range... Oh, okay, so it just allows you to switch to a face with an icon. So if you have like a blue die and you need an accuracy, there you go. So that's an option. I'll be at 30 points, so not sure. Again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. In fact, I said it just a few seconds ago. Don't understand Armada as much as I do X-Wing. And even then, I don't understand X-Wing that much. So we have the 2 variants of the Munificent class. The first one being the Comms Frigate. So upgrade bar, it's kind of fuzzy, but you have an officer, a center team or specialist team, whatever this is called, offensive retrofit, ion cannon, and turbo laser, 70 points for the model. Has the droid bombarding comms keyword. Are those keywords? I don't know. We'll see when the stuff comes out. 2 command, 3 squadron, 4 engineering. Seems decent enough. 6 hull, 1 red die in the anti-squadron. Brace, redirect, and salvo. And then for movement clicks, you get 1 on speed 1 at speed 1. 1 on 1 on speed 1, and then 1 on 1 on 1 and 2 on 2 on speed 2. Oh my god, my mind is fried. Anyways, 4 forward shields, 3 in each side arc, 2 in the rear, with 2 red, 2 blue in the front, 3 on the sides, and 2 red in the back. So, seems like a long-range engaged support ship, but even though it doesn't have any support upgrades, so I don't know. Maybe long-range engager. I don't know. And then you have the Hyperwave Signal Boost. This is an offensive retrofit for Separatists only. It does not refresh itself. It starts with either a... It starts with either engineering or a squadron, or it starts with one of each. I don't remember. During the squadron phase, when it is your fleet's turn to activate squadrons, you may exhaust this card to choose a number of unactivated friendly squadrons at close to long range up to your squadron value. This turn, activate each of those squadrons. While attacking, each of those squadrons with AI are treated as activated by a squadron command. Okay, so AI I think, is something that we're seeing on the Separatist ships that basically forces them to do something. Separatist squadrons, excuse me. So this allows you to activate them and not actually spend a squadron command, but still get that bonus. So, let's see here. So, Vulture Droid, AI, Anti-Squadron 1. While attacking by a squadron, if you are activated by a squadron command, you may add 1 die to your attack pool of a die that is... Wait, hold on, what? Okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Oh, so AI gives you a boost. Oh, okay, so this is slightly different than Legion, where it's kind of a hindrance. So, Anti-Squadron 1. So you gain a die while attacking a squadron if you are activated by a squadron command. That's interesting. Again, in Legion, it's reversed. So you have to do something if you are not activated by a command in Legion. So that's interesting. 4 movement, or max speed of 4, 3 hull. Blue and a black in the anti-squadron, so you'll gain one of those if you activate by, or get activated by a squadron command. 1 red in the battery, not the best bomber, but hey, that's not what they're intended for. They're intended for swarm tactics, as shown by the fact that it has swarm, and the fact that it's 8 points. Jesus. Albeit it's nice that these things have higher commands, so albeit at least the comms frigate does. The star frigate, it does not. Orchow prototype, so this is a generic or a unique squadron. It still has Anti-Squadron 1 AI and Swarm. Again, it's a a brace and a scatter. Same dice, same movement and hull. Before an enemy ship or squadron at distance 1 moves, you may perform an attack against that ship or squadron, even if you are engaged. Okay, so basically it's just for taking cheap shots, so that's fun. Albeit it doubles in points cost, so you gotta take that into consideration. Anywho, the Star Frigate variant, a little... actually no different on the offensive firepower. You get Actually, it's the same, basically the same thing. If you look at the two side by side, it's just you lose one squadron for one extra die in the anti-squadron battery. So you get a black die at the cost of one squadron value. And then for the upgrade, you swap a offensive retrofit for a defensive one. So you figure out how you want to work with that. I don't know. Tide of Progress 12. I think we've seen this before. It taps itself. Exhaust taps, same thing, whatever. One starts with an engineering token. Before you are dealt a face-up damage card with the ship trait, you may exhaust this card to discard that damage card without resolving its effects. Okay, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it starts with one of these. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've talked about Armada, so forgive me for not knowing what this is. Seems cool, just be able to, discard damage cards, so that's fun. Sa Nalador. So this is another Munificent title. While defending, if you're at speed 2 or higher, you may spend a defense token to resolve the evade defense token effect instead of that token's effect. You cannot resolve the evade effect more than once per attack. So if you need an evade token for whatever reason, and considering how many red dice these things have, that might be a viable option. There you go. Anyways, you have Wat Tambor, who gives you an engineering ability in the officer slot. You may spend up to 2 shields from any of your hull zones or any one hull zone on another friendly ship at distance 1 to 5 to gain twice that many additional engineering points. So you can either spend 1 shield, on a friendly ship. Hold on, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. So you can either spend 1 shield from another friendly ship, 2 shields from another friendly ship, 1 shield from one of your hull zones, or 2 shields from your other hull zones, and you either gain 2 or 4 additional engineering points. And at 5 points, if you have some decent other shield recovery options, there's that. Battle Droid Reserves. This is a sensor team, or whatever that upgrade is called. Again, it's been a while. Droid only. There's that thing again. I don't know what it does. Doesn't refresh itself. 4 points. Engineering, you may exhaust this card. If you do, flip any of your face-up damage cards with the crew trait face down. Discarding face-down damage cards costs 1 fewer engineering point. Okay, so you have a couple of different options there if you just want to if you want to get rid of some crew cards, if you want to get rid of some face-down damage cards a little cheaper. So, yeah, you have some options. So, yeah, that is the Separatist starter set. Now we just have to wait and see what comes out of these squadrons. And now the last announcement, and this is one where I can finally start to dive in a little more. Galaxy's Most Wanted. We saw I think they teased this at Gen Con, but they didn't fully announce it. Another $40, but kind of a big box expansion. It's not really a big box. Like I've seen the Rise of Red Skull box. It's not that big, and I think it's the same price. So, but hey, it's bigger than what we're usually getting for this. And again, I'm not saying what we usually get is small by any stretch of the imagination, but this is just bigger in context. So, anyways, so we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy in case you haven't figured that out yet. So looking at things right away, we have a Treachery card, combat ready. Don't know what that is. Drang, I don't know who that is. The Collector is in here, so that's interesting. Single-Minded Fury, I feel like that has something to do with Ronan the Accuser. I think that's Dead to Rights. I'm not sure who that's for. You have Rocket, you have Groot. Those seem to be the 2 flagship heroes. You have the Milano as a ship command. Wait, what the heck is that? Okay, we'll see where this goes. So let's go ahead and read some stuff here. It's time to team up with the Guardians of the Galaxy and take your games of champions to the galactic stage. You'll find an entirely new campaign with 5 distinct scenarios pitting you against the Drang of the Brotherhood of Badoon, the Collector, featured in 2 separate scenarios, Nebula and Ronan and Ronan the Accuser. Okay, so looks like Nebula is a villain, so you get the Collector twice. So 5 villains, 2 heroes, it seems. So that kind of lines up with what we got in Rise of Red Skull. You can play each of these scenarios individually or bring them together in an epic campaign. And with 7 modular sets, there are opportunities to mix up all your other scenarios. Shocker. What's more, this campaign also introduces the first Guardians of the Galaxy heroes to the game with fully pre-built and ready-to-play decks for Groot and Rocket Raccoon. And at this point, I am legally obliged to say, where the hell are the X-Men? We want Wolverine, damn it. I say that as a joke, kind of, not really, but I'm not saying I'm disappointed with this. I just want X-Men kind of badly. Like, Come on, like, I'm pretty sure everybody wants X-Men at this point, but hopefully 2021 gives us what we want, so... Is that even grammatically correct? I don't know, and I don't care at this point. So, Drang. So this is stage 1 Drang. 1 scheme, 2 attack. There's a star, I don't like this. After Drang schemes, resolve the Badoon ship's charge-up ability. What? Okay, hold on a damn minute. In your very first scenario, with your heroes are hit with new challenges, in your battle against Drang, you can expect to battle the villain and I can't speak. The villain and minions, like the Badoon Grunt. So this looks like one of the modular encounter sets. So 2 scheme, 2 attack, pretty beefy for a minion, but it's only got 2 hit points. It's a boost effect, put Badoon Grunt engaged into play with you. No, not this again. We already had to deal with those damn goblins in one of those green goblin encounters. I don't need to deal with this. After Badoon Grunt engages you, if there are no other minions engaged with you, deal yourself face down encounter card. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Like, oh, that is disgusting. Ugh. I'm just gonna say this now. Let's see here, what heroes have spread damage? War Machine, if you're playing Iron Man, that's gonna be a lifesaver. Yeah, if you're playing Iron Man in general, Hawkeye might be able to have some fun with it. What other heroes are good at spreading damage? I'm not really sure, but basically, if you're used to just going Rambo against Ultron, you're probably going to need to beef that up against this, because this looks annoying as heck. Or annoying as hell. I'm trying to swear less because I'm trying to get this out. As I mentioned in the recent channel update, that I'm kind of burnt out right now, and I don't feel like editing, so I'm trying to swear. I'm only swearing when I don't plan on censoring. My mind is fried right now. I'm only swearing with profanity that I'm cool with leaving in the video, not the stuff I usually censor out. So, almost said something there, but... Okay, so let's see what the heck this is. You'll be flying the Milano. Okay, so permanent setup. The first player controls the Milano, so it's a support that it looks like you get at the start of the game? Interesting. Piloting. Exhaust the Milano. Generate a wild resource for any player. Okay, now the question I have is, does the first player have to activate it? And if so, does this mean they activate it on their turn and then give another player a resource that they will automatically gain at the start of their turn? Or can the player whoever's going tap this, even though they're not the one controlling it? So that's going to be an interesting ruling question. You'll be fighting against the Badoon ship. So this is, it's an environment card for Drang. So the charge-up ability. Special, place 1 barrage counter on here. Then if there are 4 more barrage counters here, deal 2 indirect damage to each player and remove all barrage counters from here. 2 indirect damage to each player. So you could probably just pass it off onto minions, I guess. I mean, it would have made more sense if they, I don't know. It makes sense the way it is, kind of, but not really. I don't know. You'll be flying the Milano against Drang's Badoon ship, dodging through a blockade. So this is a side scheme. Hinder 2, when revealed, place 2 threat per player here, and it already starts with 2, so that's interesting. First player action, exhaust the Milano, remove 3 threat from this scheme. Okay, so it's a built-in built-in threat removal, and it has a crisis icon. Of course it does. Lovely. So there's that mess, and then Hull Breach. It's a treachery from. Is Ship Command a modular encounter set? I think it might be. Holy crap, it is. I think. Yeah. Does this mean that you could technically use the Milano outside of the Guardian or out of the Most Wanted stuff? If that's the case, that could be interesting, especially against Most Wanted villains, but we'll deal with that bridge when we get to it. Peril. While you are resolving this card, other players cannot help you. When revealed, choose 1. Exhaust the Milano, spend 2 chem resources, deal 3 damage to the first player. Well, I mean, if you have an upgrade on your character that somehow increases your power if you have more damage, I mean, maybe then it's a good thing. I mean, it's not like characters that get more powerful as they take damage, don't exist in games. Ransack! Transformers! But, yeah. So, there's that. Once you defeat Drang's incursion on Earth, you and your band of heroes decide to infiltrate the Museum of the Collector, which I will state is not a fun time. If you watched Serious Competition Episode 1, you heard me complain about having to invade the Collector's fort. It is not fun. That is the only time I have ever sworn on a ride. Ugh. Oh, whoa, I'm getting weightless thinking about it. Ugh. Anyways, Collector, Stage 1, 2 scheme, 1 attack, forced interrupt when a card, player, or encounter would be placed into a discard pile from play. Put it face up into the collection instead. Okay, so that's thematically interesting. Stay a while. It's treachery. When revealed alter ego, choose to either spend 2 fists or put the top card of your deck face up into the collection. When revealed hero, the collector attacks you with +1 attack. If you take any amount of damage from that attack, put the top card of your deck face up into the collection. Okay, so he's just stealing everything. Albeit, the encounter cards thing is interesting because, actually taking both cards is interesting because it means your deck reshuffles faster and it means you lose faster, so keep that in mind. Now the question is there any way to get these back? Maybe there's like a, maybe there's a treachery card or something that allows you to like steal it back or something like that. I don't know. Maybe there's a campaign upgrade that allows you to steal cards back. I don't know. So, Drang in your first encounter with the Collector, or the first 2 scenarios in Galaxy's Most Wanted. You'll be taking on these villains because it's the right thing to do, of course, but also because you expect to be paid well. Shocker. Throughout the campaign, you'll collect a reward in units after each scenario, which you can spend in the market to purchase new cards for your deck. The new cards you purchase might get you out of a sticky situation, like by any means. 0 cost event, unit cost 1. What the heck is that? Well, we'll figure it out later. Wild resource, hero action, it's an attack action. Place 2 threat on the main scheme. Deal 3 damage to the villain, draw a card. Okay, so you're ignoring the thing they're trying to do and you're just trying to punch them in the face, so if you're playing with players that are playing a Justice deck, I mean, there's an option for you, so that's kind of fun. Sure Gamble. Unit costs 5. What is this unit cost thing? I haven't played Rise of Red Skull yet, so you'll have to forgive me for my ignorance. Ugh, I still can't speak. Reduce the resource cost of the next card played this phase by 3. Holy crap, that's potent. It's a 0 cost event? Jeez. I mean, it's only for campaign play, apparently, but my god, that's potent. I mean, you play this at the end of your turn and your opponent drops like a stealth strike or something. Like, holy crap. That is potent. If you want to invest in some Milano mods, like a mounted laser. Oh, we're modding things now. Unit cost 6. Exhaust mounted lasers deal 2 damage to an enemy, 3 instead if you control the Milano. Well, I mean, if you're playing the Guardians of the Galaxy campaign, you would be controlling the Milano. So does this mean that you can purchase things outside of, or you can play this outside of the Most Wanted campaign? And if that's the case, let me know in the comments, because frankly, I have no idea as of the day this video is getting uploaded. I might have it, actually, no, I take that back. I might have an idea as the day this video gets uploaded, because this is going up on December 1st. And hopefully by that point, I have access to a physical copy of Rise of Red Skull, and I can figure this out for myself. Reactor Core is another mod. Unit cost 4. Again, I still don't know what that does. Exhaust Reactor Core and discard the top 2 cards of your deck. The top card instead, if you control the Milano, reduce the resource cost of the next event you play this turn by 1. So if you have the Milano, you pay less for the extra cost drop. That's what it's called. So there's that. As you'll play through the campaign, you'll also face the threat of a lethal Badoon Headhunter. This is another minion. It looks like a modular encounter set. 1 scheme, 1 attack, 7 health. Jeez. When defeated, add this card to the victory display. What is that? Yeah, probably another campaign term that I will find out in a few days, hopefully. So, Villainous, when this minion activates, give it a boost card. Boost, put Badoon Headhunter into play, engaged with you. Oh, geez, not this again. No, stop throwing things at us. At a boost icon. Ugh. The Green Goblin scenario that does this is already annoying enough. I don't need to deal with this anymore, and especially considering it's a 7 health minion. Like, good lord. Anywho, also, why does it say Victory 2 when it doesn't mention anything of any numerical quantities in its effect description. I don't know. Okay, so that's some of those cards. Rocket Raccoon and Groot now. So, Rocket Raccoon, hero, 2 thwart, 1 attack, 1 defense, murdered you. That effect name is kind of hilarious. It's just so blunt. Response: after you deal excess damage to an enemy, draw a card. Okay, so it incentivizes you for overkilling. That's actually kind of nice. I kind of, like, it's my natural thinking to not overkill anything, so maybe I start playing Rocket Raccoon in addition to Hawkeye, Spider-Woman, and Iron Man, and possibly Ant-Man. I still need to figure out Ant-Man, and I swear to God I will. So, yeah, that's interesting. Of course, he has a rocket launcher. It wouldn't be a Rocket Raccoon without a rocket launcher. Restricted, enters play with 2 charge counters on it. Hero action, exhaust rocket launcher, remove a charge counter from it. Choose a player, deal 2 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with that player. Okay, so there's a counter for that 2 health minion that comes into play engaged with you. Also decent against that 1 Green Goblin scenario. Or actually Ultron, if they have that one. Is it the environment or what is that card that gives the drones +1/+1? I don't remember what it is, but this helps counter it. So Rocket Raccoon might be a decent Ultron counter, so that's fun. Then you have reload, ready each tech upgrade you control. So if you have additional rocket launchers, there's that. Rocket's pre-built deck features the aggression aspect, shocker, into the fray. So 3 cost event with a bolt. Hero action attack deals 6 damage to a minion. For each point of excess dealt by this attack, remove 1 threat from the main scheme. Whoa, okay, that is instantly going into every deck I play, no questions asked. Like, that is just good. Like, not only do you have, so you have the option to either kill a small minion and just completely clean the main scheme, or you can just kill something huge. So that is actually fairly decent. That is a really good card, just wow. Hand cannon, restricted uses, 3 charges. When your hero makes a basic attack action, exhaust hand cannon and remove 1 charge counter from it. Your hero gains +2 attack and the attack gains overkill as a 2 cost upgrade with a fist icon. You gain overkill, you gain extra attack for a couple of attacks. At the end, attack minions, get some chip damage into the villain. Ultron, anyone? Yes, I am still pissed about the Ultron incident. Hopefully, once we get things rolling again, me and John will go back and finally try to wipe him clean. I almost said something that I would have had to censor out, but I am managing to... What is John laughing about over there? Okay, now I'm going to have to edit things because a loud noise just came out of nowhere. Anyways, Groot, but this just actually shouldn't be too bad to edit. It's just one thing. So, Groot, that's the alter ego mode. They're not showing Rocket's alter ego mode, which is interesting. So, we'll have to see what that happens there. Groot is just Groot in both modes. So, in his alter ego mode, for recovery, growth spurt action, place 2 growth counters on Groot to a maximum of 10, limit once per round. Flora Colossus, in the hero mode, he also has 1, 2, 3 for stats, and then, he has a hand size of 6 and 10 hit points. Meanwhile, what does Rocket have? So he has 5 and 9, so he's probably 6 hand size in alter ego mode, assuming he even has one. So Groot having 6 and 5, that's honestly kind of surprising. I would have expected him to have 5-4 at the very least, but whatever. His hero mode ability, forced interrupt. When Groot would take any amount of damage, remove that many growth counters from him instead. For each growth counter removed this way, prevent a damage. Okay, so you have a built-in shield effect. So actually, you kind of have a built-in tough mechanic. But so you're gonna have to go flipping back and forth constantly in order to keep those growth counters on you. So that's interesting. Among the protection cards that fill out the rest of Groot's deck, you'll find some powerful ways to gain the advantage if you kept your hit points intact. The Dauntless, okay, so play under any player's control, max 1 per player. We've seen these before. So 1 cost upgrade with a bolt. While your hero's remaining hit points are greater or equal to your hero's starting hit points, your hero gains retaliate 1. Hold on, I gotta take a second to process that. While your hero's hit points are equal to or greater than your hero's starter hit points. Oh, okay, so while you're either undamaged or... Wait. Oh, if you have a health boosting effect that gives you additional health, kind of like some of Iron Man's upgrades do that. So you gain Retaliate 1 in those situations. Interesting, but again, you have to be playing a hero that has those kind of health boosts, or in the case of Groot, just get I almost swore there, and I shouldn't have. But if you get a crap ton of counters on there, I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing on this after all, but it's not too bad. So anyway, so I am just exhausted right now. I just talked about 3 things, so I'm just going to cut it here right now before I start rambling again. So moving on. Well, it's not often we see FFG give 2 previews for something. Usually it's when a game is just coming out, or if there's a gigantic expansion for it. We usually don't see it for anything else. But then again, this could be considered a gigantic expansion, so yeah, we're getting a second preview of the Republic Fleet Starter. I'm guessing this has something to do with the Chargers, considering the artwork, but we will see what happens. So, same thing as last time, 20 upgrades, 2 Charger Corvettes, or whatever these things are called, an acclimator, 4 V-19 squadrons. Ah, yes, the Charger. So, the 2 variants, so we have the Armed Cruiser, the Consular class, that's the official name. And let's see, 1 command, 1 squadron, 2 engineering, pretty standard for a small ship. 2 blue dice in the anti-squadron, so it's decent at that. And then you have redirect, brace, or redirect, evade, and salvo. Or no, that's not salvo, that's contained, which on a small ship, that's kind of surprising. So this thing is pretty durable in regards to that. 2 shields in all zones except the rear, which has 1. And it actually looks like a pretty close range ship because it's 2 blue in the front with a black, 1 blue, 1 black on the sides, and 1 blue in the rear. And then for the movement chart, 2 clicks on 1 at speed 1. At speed 2, you get 2 on 1, 1 on 2. For speed 3, you get 1 on everything. And for speed 4, you get 1 on 1, 3, and 4. 2 is ineligible to be clicked at 37 points with a officer, support team, or sensor team, whatever it's called, defensive retrofit, and ordnance. So that would explain the black dice. So rapid reload, anyone maybe? I don't know. Then, yeah, assault concussion missiles, that mentioned that. And then we have the Charger variant, which is replaces the blue dice with, actually it's kind of different. Same stat line, 1, 1, and 2 on the command boxes up here. 1 black die in the anti-squadron, same movement thing, and then same shielding, but it's 2 red, 1 blue in the front, 2 red on the sides, 1 red, 1 blue in the back, so a bit more long range, albeit you are paying an additional 8 points for it. And it does replace the defensive retrofit and the ordnance slots with offensive retrofit and turbo lasers. Again, a little more close range. Would be interesting to see what you could do with a few armed cruisers, just to see if you could pop some ordnance off, so that's fun. Auxiliary shields team, I think we've seen this before. Maybe we haven't. I have it on screen now in case you want to read it. I don't remember. Again, I don't follow Armada that closely. How many times have I said that in this video? I don't know. Clone Navigation Officer. This one is definitely new, so again, forgive me for not remembering what these things do. It doesn't exhaust when you, or it doesn't refresh when you exhaust it. It's Republic only. When you reveal a Concentrate, Fire, Navigate, or Squadron command, you may exhaust this card to choose a friendly ship at distance 1 to 5. That ship may gain 1 command token matching your command. You can spend tokens from this card to ready it. Okay, so I figured there was going to be some sort of condition to be able to unexhaust it, but so being able to essentially give extra command tokens, I mean, that's always a good thing, I guess. Again, I can't really comment on it too much, so Radiant 7 as a title. Now, this was actually, I think, the cruiser that got blown up at the start of episode 1. You gain a fleet support icon in your upgrade bar, but you cannot equip turbo lasers or ordnance. So for 1 point, you get to turn it into a support ship. My guess is it's probably going to be better on the Charger, not necessarily the armed cruiser, because the armed cruiser wants to get close, whereas the Charger can afford to stay back a little bit more. Now, if you're playing some more up in your opponent's face tactics, maybe this could be decent in terms of like sticking more close to bombers, but that's really your call entirely. Parts resupply. So it starts with, looks like 5 engineering tokens. Wow. After your reveal command dial step, you may exhaust this card and discard any number of engineering tokens from this to choose that many friendly ships at distance 1 to 5. Assign those ships an engineer or repair token. So if you need to hand out tokens, there you go. And it doesn't refresh itself, so keep that in mind. Munitions resupply, I don't think we've seen this either. It actually looks to be the same thing except with concentrate fire, so there's that. And of course, these will work on your GR75s and Gazantes. It's just they're showing it with the Charger because of Radiant 7. Swift Return, another one. During your determined course step, if you are at distance 1 to 2 of an obstacle, you may change your speed by 1 or increase yaw by 1. With the armed cruiser variant, that is going to be huge in case you get stuck in a position where there's a rock right in front of you and you need to make sure you can swing around it. So that on the armed cruiser I like, whereas Radiant 7 I do like on the armed or on the Charger. So yeah, quick little preview there. I'm guessing next Monday, which is the 30th, we're probably going to get something similar for the Separatists, and then the next segment, assuming nothing changes, is probably going to either be something Champions related, or it's going to be a preview of the Separatist Squadron Pack. So moving on. Okay, so I was about to say this came a day early, but then I remembered that that tomorrow actually is Thanksgiving when I recorded the segment last Thursday with like the Republic Squadrons and whatever else. But yeah, we're getting this essentially a day early, but not really. So anyways, so the Separatist Squadron Pack, let's see what we've got to deal with. So we obviously know already it's coming with Vulture Droids, Hyenas, Belbel Labs, and Tri-Fighters. And let's see. So Vulture Droid, we've seen this thing before. We've got the AI anti-squadron thing, 4 movement, 3 hull, or 3 hit points, whatever you want to call them. Black and a blue in the anti-squadron, and a red in the battery. Swarm, 8 points. Nothing too fancy there. Unique pilot. We haven't seen this, I don't think. DFS 311. You have anti-squadron 1 as your AI. You have Swarm. You also have Intel, which again, I don't remember what that does. And let's see here. Yeah, when you are defending, if the attack is obstructed, you may force the attacker to reroll a die. You have it, I guess. So there's that. Brace and a scatter token makes sense. Same movement and health value, but then it replaces the blue die in the anti-squadron with a red die, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, blue die with a red die. So there is that. And then we have the Hyena Bomber. So AI Battery 1, while attacking a ship, if you're activated by a squadron command, you may add 1 die to your attack pool of a color that is already in your pool. In this case, you only get to add 1 red, but if you have a squadron command, you get a little extra firepower, so there's that. And it's basically the same stat line as a Vulture Droid, except you have 1 more health point, and you replace the black die in the anti-squadron with a blue die. And then, of course, you have Heavy, because that just makes sense for a bomber. And you also have the Bomber keyword, and they're only 11 points a pop, so you could swarm these things pretty decently. You wouldn't have the Swarm keyword, but hey, you could get a few of them onto the field. You have the Bactoid prototypes, AI Battery 1, Bomber Heavy, same stat line, Reinforce or Brace and Scatter. While attacking a ship of another squadron with Bomber is at distance 1 of the defender, you may change 1 die to the face with an accuracy icon. I mean, if you want to pop their Scatter token, you can, so... Oh, while attacking a ship, if you want to pop a token, I guess. So, I mean, you already got Bomber, so... And you have Battery, so there's that. And then DBS 404, whatever the protocols aren't found. That's a joke I will make every time I see this card, because error 404. Same things as before. While attacking, if you are touching the defender, you may suffer a damage to add 1 die to your attack pool of a color that is already in your attack pool. So... if you're attacking a squadron, you get to add an extra blue die. If you're attacking a ship, you get to add an extra red die. And if the damage penalty is going to be worth it, we will have to wait and see. 17 points for it, though, so that's going to be important. And 16 for the Bactoid prototypes. So that is good to know. So the Vulture Droid, okay, now the Tri-Fighter. So 5-3, and then the Anti-Squadron is 2 blue and a red, and the battery is 1 black. And Anti-Squadron 1, I think this is the same ability that the Vulture Droid has? Yes, it is. So you get to add dice if you're activated by a squadron command to attack while attacking a squadron. And you either get blue or red, your choice. And then it has Counter 2, and it also has Swarm. So again, we see Separatists playing heavily into the Swarm tactics, and Counter 2 is always fun. So there's that. We have DIS T81. Your attacks cannot be obstructed and yeah, everything else seems to be the same, except you replace a blue die with a black die in the anti-squadron. You gain Snipe 3, that's interesting. 17 points for this, and then you have the brace and the redirect, or in the scatter, I mean. Nothing surprising there for a unique squadron, and 11 points base for the normal, as I accidentally right-click, but that seems pretty decent. And then you have the Falak Arfok prototypes, I think that's how you pronounce that. I think I had mispronounced this too in the October Ramblings video when they previewed the Tri-Fighter for X-Wing, so there's that. So it's basically the same thing as the regular Tri-Fighter, I believe. Replaces a blue die with a black die in the anti-squadron armament. And after an enemy squadron ends at its activation at distance 1 of this, that squadron suffers the damage. Okay, 19 points. People are going to play this, no question about it. Especially considering this thing is 5 speed. So as long as you can somehow keep this thing alive, you're golden. So yeah, have fun with that. Belbolab 22, so speed 4, 5 hull, 2 blue, 2 black in the anti-squadron, 1 blue in the battery, 15 points, and you have relay 1 and screen. We've seen relay before, but screen is new, I think. While you are defending, for each other friendly squadron the attacker is engaged with that lacks screen up to 3, you gain dodge 1. Hold on a minute. Let me read this. While you're defending, for each other squadron, the attackers... Oh, so if you have other squadrons that don't have screen, you gain dodge 1 while defending. I don't know what dodge does, so forgive me for not knowing that. So that's interesting, though. And you also have relay, so that's nice. It's especially going to be helpful considering you want to be using squadron commands constantly with Separatists because of all the AI stuff. So that is fairly decent. And then, of course, Grievous. What else would it be? You have Relay 2, you have Screen again, you have 2 braces, same stat line and attack pools. While attacking a ship or squadron with no ready defense tokens, each of your crit icons adds 1 damage to the damage total. Okay, so if you have the ability with Separatists to shut down your opponent's defense tokens, and by that I mean exhaust them, there you go. So we'll have to see if Separatists get more support like that, and I don't remember off the top of my head if there's anything that does do that. Oh, wait, what's that? Overload pulse, that's a thing. So if you can take ion cannons with Separatist ships, you might want to consider Grievous. So, yeah, there's that. And, yeah, that's a quick one to go through. So some interesting stuff in there. The Bactoid prototype and the Arfok prototypes are definitely looking interesting. Again, I am talking about this as somebody who doesn't play Armada competitively and just plays it because it looks cool. So, yeah, interesting stuff there. Now the question is, next Monday, are we going to be getting a preview of the hard cell transport? So we will have to wait and see. Anyways, on to the next thing. Well, we did not get any other previews, unfortunately, so that will do it for the November Ramblings. A lot of Armada, a little bit of Champions. Hopefully we have a more diverse cast of games next month. With that being said, though, hopefully you enjoyed listening to me yammer on about stuff. I still can't speak for the life of me. And, yeah, like I said in the channel update from a few days ago, I am still on hiatus in terms of gameplay. However, there will be a couple of every card in 9 words or less videos hopefully being uploaded, and I am starting to record gameplay again, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks that will start coming out. So, we're still here, don't worry, we just need to take a break after the Omega Supreme files. So again, hopefully you enjoyed what you saw here today. We're coming back here soon, and with all that being said, that will do it for this video. Peace out, y'all.